If you think you know Dead Rising, wait until you see the surprising changes this remaster brings. And if it's your first time, stick around to find out if it's worth it. For many, myself included, the original 2006 game is an undeniable Capcom classic, a unique mix of fun, weirdness, and charm, despite its flaws. It's a game that's never been fully replicated. Such was its impact that Capcom decided to re-release an enhanced version in 2016 for modern consoles. Now, with the Dead Rising Deluxe Remaster, they go one step further by rebuilding the game from the ground up with a completely new engine, offering significant improvements in graphics, animations, lighting, character models, and even voice acting. In addition to the visual overhaul, the game has received adjustments in gameplay, improving both the controls and overall flow. This makes the experience more accessible, though some purists of the original might not be entirely happy with certain changes. While the new character models and animations look fresh and modern, the updated graphics don't always impress. And in some cases, the game loses part of the atmosphere that made the first version special. That said, Dead Rising is still a phenomenal game. Whether you prefer the original or this new version is entirely up to you. Personally, I think the game holds up well in any of its versions. During our review of a PS5 copy, we made sure to avoid spoilers because one of Dead Rising's charms is how its game structure works like a puzzle. It starts off simple, but becomes more complex and rewarding as you progress. For newcomers, preserving that sense of discovery is crucial. If this is your first time with the game, Dead Rising is a third-person action survival game set in a massive shopping mall. You play as Frank West, a freelance photojournalist who arrives in Colorado to investigate a town overrun by zombies. With 72 in-game hours to survive, rescue survivors, take photos, and uncover the truth before your rescue helicopter returns. The game features a time limit mechanic, similar to Majora's Mask. This constant sense of urgency can be stressful, but still works wonderfully in this remaster. The main missions are time-sensitive, with a day and night cycle that intensifies the fear as darkness falls. You'll feel the pressure of having too much to do in too little time, rescuing survivors, uncovering secrets, and exploring every corner of the mall. This game encourages multiple playthroughs because if you fail to complete certain tasks, time continues to pass, and missions may fail. Over the course of the 72 hours, the mall evolves with new enemies, bosses, and surprises, keeping the experience fresh. A big part of Dead Rising's fun comes from exploring the mall and experimenting with the various ways to kill zombies. You can run them over with shopping carts, use extravagant weapons like rubber balls or Viking axes from an antique store, and even dress up in ridiculous outfits while causing chaos. This blend of over-the-top humor and bloody violence is what makes Dead Rising an icon in the zombie game genre. The exaggerated animations and weapons remain as entertaining as ever. As for the controls, while Frank West's movements are still a bit clunky, the game feels much smoother overall, especially when aiming, dodging, or performing special moves. The leveling system rewards you for rescuing survivors, killing zombies, and taking photos, allowing you to level up and unlock new skills. I noticed that leveling up is faster than before, which grants you access to special moves sooner, making the game less punishing. Plus, the survivor AI has been significantly improved, making escort missions much less frustrating than in the original game. Overall, Dead Rising feels more polished, with quality-of-life improvements like more intuitive menus, better map systems, and more save slots. However, these enhancements also make the game easier, which could reduce the challenge and tension that gave the original version its special charm. That said, the game still offers challenges, as some bosses can be tough, especially when you're poorly equipped. Nevertheless, the refined controls make some fights feel too easy compared to the more awkward and intense combat of the original. The redesign of Frank West has sparked controversy among fans. He looks a bit different now and has a new voice actor, which has been a tough change for some to accept. Despite this, the new Frank still retains his essence, and over time, he may grow on you. Personally, I like the feeling of a Frank who's older and a bit more rugged, though it may not appeal to everyone, especially if you're very familiar with the original. An interesting addition in the remaster is more voice acting for survivors, including the iconic Otis. However, The new voice actors for Frank and other characters may not be well received by everyone. While most characters sound similar, some players may notice the lack of certain nuances. On the other hand, the character models, especially the psychopaths, bosses, look great, and it's a pleasure to see their introductions and battle scenes updated visually. Some changes, however, feel odd. For example, the Butcher's appearance has been altered, and the character Cliff, a Vietnam vet, no longer mentions the war, making his dialogue feel a bit out of place. These small changes might bother longtime fans. Nevertheless, the game still shines as a crazy, fun zombie sandbox. Plus, features like the camera's autofocus and better visibility of weapon damage are nice additions, although some of the cooler outfits are locked behind DLC. One thing I noticed is that with the game being more accessible, I had more time to enjoy experimenting. Without struggling as much with the controls or the survivor AI, I was able to focus more on exploring, discovering secrets, and killing zombies in creative ways. Despite its adjustments, Dead Rising still delivers impactful moments, and any complaints I had tend to fade away as I play. In terms of graphics, they're a mixed bag. The mall has more detail, with stores that feel more real, better signage, and more varied objects. This helps bring the Willamette Parkview Mall to life, which remains an iconic location. However, some of the visual upgrades don't impress much, as the game sometimes feels a bit flat and desaturated, especially during the day. The outdoor areas, in particular, don't look great unless you're in a rare, well-lit scene. Despite the graphical overhaul, there are still low-resolution textures here and there, and the on-screen interface no longer has that news program style from the original, a small but unnecessary change. Comparing both versions, the remaster is technically superior, but it lacks some of the original's charm. Not everyone will agree, as this largely comes down to personal taste. In summary, Dead Rising remains a fun and accessible experience, although some changes may upset longtime fans. For new players, the game will be more user-friendly, with improvements that make certain aspects easier while still retaining the features that make it special. In the end, it's up to you to decide if these changes hit the mark. So, what's your experience with Dead Rising? Are you a newcomer or a lifelong fan? Let's talk about it in the comments below. As always, if you enjoyed this video, giving it a like helps us a lot. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.